What's up, everybody? I know this looks like an Am I on Earth video, but it's not. This is actually from my other series, 30 Things I Would Tell My Younger Self Before I Turned 30, because I had something happen tonight and somebody say something to me that triggered like something else that I would have told my younger self that I now no longer care about. I had a table come in and it was for graduation. It was a family, and the youngest daughter, they were talking about how she just graduated from college. Their parents are really proud, of course. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fun. Like, are you enjoying being out of college? And her parents are like, oh yeah, you know, like, she's gonna do X, Y, and Z, and she's gonna do this program and that program and do this. And I'm like, yeah, but like, are you happy outside of life? Like, are you loving life? Like, what else do you like to do? Because I don't like to ask people, what are they going to do when they get out of college? Because I had no idea what the fuck I was going to do when I got out of college. And I don't think that everybody's life should revolve around what they do for their professional work. Like, I just don't. That's just me. That's my personal preference. I don't center my entire life around what I do for work anymore, and I really used to. I built all of my self-worth, my purpose, literally everything, how I felt about myself revolved around how good of a job I had, how much I was getting paid, how good I was at my job, if I was getting promoted. Like, my family raised me in that sort of culture where like success was your value. And I think that I have really paved the way, I like to think anyway, for my younger siblings and also my younger cousins, because I'm the oldest of everyone, that like, that's not your whole life. It doesn't have to be your whole life. But what brings me to this point is somebody asking me today, the mom said, oh, she was like, oh yeah, like I might get a bartending job over the summer. And the mom was like, oh yeah, well, you know, like, but that's it, like just for the summer. And I was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Like, if she wants to do it longer than the summer, like while she's going to school, like, you know, that's fine. I was like, you know, I didn't want her to think that I was thinking any type of way of it because I'm a fucking server, but also like, hey, watch your fucking tone because you're low key shooting shots, you know? And she was like, well, yeah, no, but I mean, she has all these programs and things, and like, she just won't be, you know, like she's not going to be a bartender forever. She was like, how long are you planning on being a server? And I was like, I don't know, until I don't feel like it anymore. And she was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, like, did you like do anything else for work? And I was like, yeah, I used to have a job where I made 6 figures a year as a salary. I was like, but it was a really mentally draining and exhausting job, and I was miserable. I said I was absolutely miserable doing it. Was I making more money? Sure. Was I financially stable? Also sure. But my mental health matters a lot to me, and I don't care how much money I'm making. If I'm miserable, it means nothing to me. It's worthless to me. Money is worthless to me if I don't have the time to do the things that I want to do and actually spend my money. Because what's the point of making all this money if you never have time to do anything that you love? Like, it's just worthless to me. It means nothing to me. No amount of clothes, no amount of designer bags, no amount of luxury cars can fulfill that need that I need to have for creative outlet, free time, and social hour. My job was very isolated. I didn't converse with people every single day. It wasn't fun. I didn't get to express my personality. Obviously, you guys know how I am on here. I didn't get to do that in a professional setting. Like, I can't be me in a professional setting. So 60 hours a week, I was in a place where I had to suppress every single emotion, feeling, comment, everything that I had. That's not for me. It might be for you, but it's not for me. And I used to be embarrassed when I first got laid off. I used to be embarrassed about telling people that I got laid off and I had gone back to serving because I didn't want to be the person who was 30 years old and still serving in a restaurant. Like, I felt some type of way about it. That's how my family raised me. Nobody else in my family has, you know, like a serving job, a hospitality job. Like, my cousins work in finance. Like, my other cousin just graduated with her master's degree. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has really great jobs. My brother has really great jobs. He's in construction development. Like, you know, everybody in my family has really great jobs, and I love that for them. But I used to feel so inferior to people who had better jobs than me, better lives than me, bigger salaries than me, because I feel like people look down upon hospitality workers a lot, whether that be hotel staff, whether it be arena and stadium staff, whether it be serving and restaurant staff. Like, no matter who it is, I feel like people look down upon those professions, but those are the professions that are providing for you day in and day out. Who do you think I'm serving at this restaurant? Like, I'm serving people who have real jobs and real salaries, you know, like, so they're providing a service to you. It's an essential job. During COVID, none of us got to take off from the job. We worked in the restaurant. We did to-go orders nonstop, like, just to provide like some perspective for some of you, and also a little bit for myself. But anyway, in this conversation with this family, I was obviously respectfully trying to be like, hey, like, there's another way to look at things. And she asked what I'm gonna do next. And I said, next? And she was like, well, yeah, like, you know, I just assume, like, are you like doing this to put yourself through school? And I said, no, I'm doing this because I like it. And she just looked at me like bewildered. And the daughter's like smiling at me. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I run a small business. I was like, I work this job, I pet sit, I do social media. I was like, but I find that those jobs are a lot more fulfilling to me than me sitting in an office doing a job that I hated. And I was like, but I don't think that this job makes me any less than anyone who's a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or, you know, a fucking accountant. Like, I don't feel any less about myself because of what I do for work. I was like, so I always like to ask people, like, what do they like to do? Like, oh, like, what are you gonna do? Not in terms of a job, like, what are you gonna do now that you have all this free time not going to class? Are you gonna go to the beach? Are you gonna start reading? Are you gonna pick up a hobby? Are you gonna do a sport? Like, what are you gonna do? That's what I wanna know. That's what I care about. So all of this to say, no matter what you're doing in life, there's no set path for anybody. You don't need to be embarrassed about any stage of life that you're in. You don't need to feel embarrassed about what you're doing. You don't need to feel inferior to anybody. Everybody is on their own path. Everybody is doing their own thing. There is no set one way to do life. There is no finish line in life. You do not have to do what everyone else is doing. You don't have to follow the path that everybody else is following. You can do whatever you want. It's your life. And don't ever let anybody make you feel bad about that, because your purpose in life is to be human and have a human experience. Be good to others, be good to yourself. But your purpose is not necessarily what your job is. If you feel like that's what your purpose is, if you're called to do neurosurgery or be a teacher or a police officer, whatever it is, obviously, by all means. But if you don't feel that way about a job and you feel like your life is more than a job, it's okay to feel that way too, because your life doesn't have to be entirely your job. Your life can just be your life, and you can do whatever job that you want. And I could tell that mom, I feel like I sort of got through to her a bit, but it's the same conversations that I've had to have with my own parents. You know, like, I just don't see things the way that they do. I don't see things the way that a lot of people do. I have a ton of friends who are making six-figure salaries, who are on their way to buy houses. And regardless of what kind of financial strain that I'm in, I still feel like I personally am happier in the place that I am at than a lot of people, because I feel fulfilled in my day-to-day life. I'm able to do the things that I want to do. I'm able to go for a 3-mile walk on the water in the middle of the day. I'm able to go get coffee with my friends and read a book in a coffee shop at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I'm able to go on a boat at fucking 3 p.m. on a Thursday because I don't have, like, I'm just able to do so much more with my time when I delegate it differently. An 8 to 5, 9 to 6 job was never for me. It was never going to be for me. And that's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be, because it doesn't have to be for everybody. So all of this to say, don't be embarrassed about what it is that you do. Do not feel inferior to anybody. Just keep living your life, and don't let anyone make you feel bad about it, is pretty much the moral of the story. Everybody's life path is different, and that is the beauty of life. Eventually we all get to the same place, which is, you know what I'm saying? Live your life how you want to live it. Nobody's life ends any differently. It all ends the same way. We go in the same way, and we go out the same way. You may as well do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do while you're alive, because you never know when it's going to be your time to go.